Hey everyone, let me ask you something that might sound a bit strange at first, but stay with me here. When was the last time you felt genuinely uncomfortable? Not like sitting in a bad chair uncomfortable, but that deep kind of discomfort where you're stretching yourself beyond what feels safe and familiar. Now compare that to how often you stay in situations that feel perfectly fine, perfectly manageable, perfectly comfortable. Most of us would probably realize we spend way more time in that comfort zone than we'd like to admit, and here's the thing that nobody really talks about enough: that comfortable place we love so much might actually be slowly killing our potential in ways that failure never could. Think about it this way. When you fail at something, it hurts, right? It stings. You feel embarrassed, maybe even devastated depending on what it is. But failure has this incredible quality that comfort doesn't have: it forces you to confront reality. When you try to start a business and it crashes, when you ask someone out and get rejected, when you train for months and still don't make the team, you get immediate feedback. The universe is basically saying, okay, that approach didn't work, time to learn something new. And our brains, as much as we hate that feeling in the moment, are actually wired to learn powerfully from these experiences. There's actual neuroscience behind this. When we fail, our brains release chemicals that enhance memory formation and learning. We literally become more capable because of failure. It's uncomfortable as hell, but it's growth happening in real time. Comfort though, comfort is sneaky. Comfort whispers to you every single day that everything is fine, that you're doing okay, that there's no urgent reason to change anything about your life right now. And the scary part is that comfort isn't lying to you, not exactly. Things probably are fine. You're probably doing okay. But fine and okay are incredibly low standards for a human life, and this is where the real danger creeps in. When you're comfortable, there's no feedback loop. There's no signal telling you that you're stagnating or that your skills are becoming obsolete or that you're capable of so much more. Comfort creates this illusion of stability while the world keeps moving forward around you. I want you to imagine two people starting their careers at the same time. Person A takes a job that pays decently, has good benefits, reasonable hours, nothing too stressful. They get comfortable. They learn the role, they get competent at it, and then they just kind of coast. 5 years go by, then 10. They're not miserable, they're actually pretty content. Person B takes a more challenging role, maybe pays a bit less at first, definitely more stressful. They fail at projects. They get harsh feedback. They have to learn new skills constantly just to keep up. They feel uncomfortable probably every other week. Now flash forward those same 10 years. Person A has stayed roughly the same, maybe gotten a little better at the specific thing they do. Person B has failed multiple times, but each failure taught them something new. They've built resilience, adaptability, a whole toolkit of skills. They've become someone fundamentally different and more capable. Here's what really gets me about comfort: it compounds negatively over time in the same way that growth compounds positively. Every day you stay comfortable is a day someone else is out there struggling and learning and getting better. And because comfort feels good, because there's no pain signal, you don't even realize you're falling behind until suddenly one day you look around and the world has changed and your comfortable skills aren't valuable anymore and you haven't built the muscle of dealing with discomfort. This is happening right now in so many industries. People who got comfortable with certain ways of doing things are finding themselves obsolete not because they're bad at what they do but because they stopped putting themselves in positions where they had to evolve. The really insidious part about comfort is how it affects your psychology over time. When you fail, yeah, it hurts, but you prove to yourself that you can survive difficulty. You build what psychologists call self-efficacy, this belief that you can handle challenges. Every time you face something hard and come out the other side, even if you technically failed, you're stronger. But comfort does the opposite. The longer you stay comfortable, the more your tolerance for discomfort actually decreases. Things that wouldn't have bothered you before start feeling impossible. Your comfort zone doesn't stay the same size, it actually shrinks. I've seen this happen to people who stay in the same easy job for too long. Eventually, even small changes like a new computer system or a different procedure feel massively overwhelming because they've lost the ability to be uncomfortable. And we need to talk about the illusion of security that comfort provides, because it's probably the biggest trap of all. When you're in a comfortable situation, whether it's a relationship or a job or even just your daily routine, your brain interprets that comfort as safety. You think, I've got this figured out, I'm secure here. But comfort and security are not the same thing at all. In fact, they're often opposites. Real security comes from being adaptable, from having proven to yourself over and over that you can handle new situations, that you can fail and recover, that you can learn and grow. That's actual security. Comfort is just the feeling of security, and feelings can be incredibly misleading. Think about all the people who felt totally secure in their comfortable jobs right up until their entire industry got disrupted. The comfort they felt wasn't protecting them, it was actually preventing them from building real security through continuous growth and adaptation. Failure, on the other hand, as much as we try to avoid it, builds real security. When you've failed before and recovered, you know you can do it again. You're not afraid of taking smart risks because you know that even if things don't work out, you'll figure it out. This is such a different psychological state than someone who's avoided failure by staying comfortable. They're terrified of failure precisely because they've never built up that evidence that they can handle it. So they stay stuck, and the longer they stay stuck, the more terrified they become, and it becomes this self-reinforcing cycle of limitation. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and deliberately fail at everything or make yourself miserable for no reason. That's not the point at all. The point is about understanding where real danger lies. We've been taught to fear failure our whole lives. School systems punish failure, society judges it, we internalize this message that failing means there's something wrong with us. But if you actually look at any successful person in any field, their story is packed with failures. The difference is they didn't let those failures stop them, and more importantly, they didn't retreat into comfort after experiencing difficulty. They understood that discomfort and failure are part of the process of becoming capable. What makes comfort so dangerous is that it doesn't feel dangerous. There's no alarm bells, no obvious warning signs. You just gradually become less and less of what you could be, and because it happens so slowly and feels so pleasant, you don't notice until it's really hard to change course. It's like that metaphor about boiling a frog, you know that one. If you drop a frog in boiling water, it'll jump out immediately, but if you put it in comfortable water and slowly turn up the heat, it won't notice the danger until it's too late. That's what comfort does to human potential. It's the slowly heating water. And here's something else that really matters. When you look back on your life, and trust me, everyone does this eventually, you're not going to regret the times you failed. You'll regret the times you didn't try because you were too comfortable to take the risk. Failure at least gives you a story, gives you learning, gives you evidence that you went for something. Comfort just gives you a blank space where growth could have been. People on their deathbeds don't talk about wishing they'd stayed in that comfortable job longer or avoided more risks. They talk about regretting the things they didn't do, the chances they didn't take, the version of themselves they never became because staying comfortable felt easier. The world is changing faster now than at any point in human history. Technology, economics, social structures, everything is in flux. In this environment, comfort isn't just limiting, it's actually dangerous to your future well-being. The skills and situations that feel comfortable today might be completely irrelevant in 5 years. The only real security is in becoming someone who's good at being uncomfortable, good at learning, good at failing and adapting. These are the meta skills that matter. These are what actually keep you safe and capable and relevant. So what does this mean practically? It means you need to actively seek out discomfort. Not random discomfort, but the productive kind where you're stretching yourself. It means when you have a choice between the comfortable path and the path that scares you a bit but offers growth, you should seriously consider the scary one. It means reframing failure from this shameful thing to be avoided into valuable data about how to improve. It means recognizing that the anxiety you feel when facing something new isn't a warning to retreat, it's actually a signal that you're in the zone where growth happens. Your comfort zone is supposed to be a place you visit to rest and recover, not a place you live. Think of the most capable, interesting, successful people you know. They're not the ones who avoided failure and stayed comfortable. They're the ones who've been beaten up by life, who've failed publicly, who've had to rebuild and learn and adapt over and over. That process is what made them who they are. The comfort seekers might feel better day to day, but over a lifetime, they pay an enormous price in unrealized potential and eventual irrelevance. The real question isn't whether you'll be comfortable or whether you'll fail. You'll definitely experience both throughout your life. The question is which one you treat as normal and which one you treat as the exception. If you make comfort your baseline and venture out occasionally into discomfort, you'll have a very limited life. But if you make growth and challenge your baseline and retreat occasionally into comfort to recover, you'll build a life that's actually extraordinary. Failure stops being this thing you fear and becomes just part of the process, while comfort stops being the goal and becomes just a brief respite. I think we need to completely flip our relationship with these two things. Stop running from failure and start running from stagnation. Stop seeking comfort and start seeking growth. Because at the end of the day, comfort might feel safer, but it's the person who's learned to be comfortable with being uncomfortable who actually has the skills to thrive in an uncertain world. That's the real safety, that's the real security, and that's definitely the more interesting life.